We are live, everybody. Welcome to the Daytripper Photo Show. This is show number 185. We've done a few of these now. Michael, what's this for you? 4 or 5? 4? 3?
6. I think I joined on 179.
Time flies, man. It really does. It's coming up to our 4th anniversary doing the show, actually. On September the 28th is the 4th anniversary of the Daytripper Photo Show. Now, it doesn't mean we've done an exact amount of shows. It's just that's when the show started 4 years ago. It's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of different hosts and guests and talked to a lot of cool people. And you know, it's interesting since we split the show up to 3 separate shows. It feels like we're able to cover more content in a more digestible way, which I'm very happy about. However, today was supposed to be a photo review show.
Mm-hmm.
And there haven't been too many photos, so I'm thinking it's summer. What do you guys think?
Could be that.
Is that what's doing it?
Nice and warm out, almost too warm.
People don't want to sit around and make photos of their pets, I guess. So because the challenge this week was pet personalities.
Mm-hmm.
So earlier today, we all looked at the submissions, and we said, oh, no photos, so vacation, take the night off. Well, at least I thought that. What do you guys think?
Well, I thought we could just, make stuff up and play off the ear. That didn't make sense. Whatever you do with the ears.
Play it by ear?
That's it.
Play it off the cuff?
Both of those together.
Okay, let's join those and do that. Sounds good. Michael, what do you think, man?
I was surprised. I wanted photos. I thought this would be an interesting one to see.
I did too. I thought, pet personalities is fun, right? Everybody would want to take a picture of their pets. I mean, even if your pet's a lizard,
mm-hmm.
you can show some personality in a photo. Or even if it's not your pet, even if you adopt a pet for a day or something.
Yeah.
You know whose pet I would be taking pictures of? Rachel Enkin. Rachel's dog, Charlie, is probably the cutest little dog. It's a little Yorkie-like little dog. Cutest dog I've ever seen. I mean, there's some great pets of community members. Chris Kowalewski's dog Bacon, Isabel's dog. They both have bulldogs. They're the funniest looking, awesome dogs. They take photos of them all the time. Some really great pets out there. So, well, it happens. What can you do, right? I guess what'll happen if we don't have more than the 2 submissions that we do have by the time the show ends, what we'll end up doing is saying, hey, we have a 1st and 2nd place winner, and somebody gets some points towards the next photo challenge. So that's how it's going to go. What else can we do, right, guys?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's been all kinds of stuff that's happened, though. Phil just read a neat little article about the 5D Mark IV.
Yeah, potential.
No. It was factual, wasn't it? It was on the internet.
Well, everything on the internet's right.
That's what I'm talking about.
I think that's the Abraham Lincoln quote, is if you read it on the internet, it's true.
Yes, I read that on the internet.
Absolutely.
Well, we can reach.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of other things being said by certain people out there that are a lot less true that people are believing. So, not going to go there. Another conversation for another day. Ron Gray's watching. Hey, Ron, how's it going? He's seen a lot of pet photos submitted on Google+. Now, okay, so here's the deal. People have submitted pet photos on Google+, but in the Daytripper community, let's have a look here. Under Weekly Photo Challenge,
we have 2.
We have, Emil's posted. We have Taylor, we have Emil, and we have Brandon.
Oh, I see it now.
Now, Brandon's a new member. Michael, you know Brandon.
Yes. Actually, I talked about him earlier when I mentioned the wedding gig that I got.
Mm-hmm.
And I got that gig through meeting someone during a shoot at an abandoned building. Brandon is actually the other photographer that was there shooting that building.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love how things like that happen. I remember that. That is really great. We've met a lot of people when we were over at Camp 30, but nobody that we've connected with.
He keeps talking about wanting to bring me over to Camp 30. So
it's
I'm going to check that out for the first time.
A little late for that.
No.
They shut it down, didn't they?
Yeah, they locked it up tight.
Damn.
Security cameras.
Apparently the building I'm at is locked down too.
What's that?
The building that I met Brandon at is apparently locked down tight too.
Well,
because it was huge.
Which one was it? No, you can't say. You shouldn't say.
I don't even remember where it is now.
Everybody knows Camp 30. We've been there. How many times, Phil, have we been there together?
A bunch.
A bunch. And you know, there's a lot of thing about going and doing urban exploration in abandoned POW camps in this case, or former insane asylums and all these really cool places. Architecturally, some of these old buildings are just amazing to look at. And you get inside and their archways and their brickwork and all the different things that they have and the history of the building. And being able to represent the history of a building like, let's just say Camp 30, which is a former POW camp for German U-boat captains, I mean, that is pretty historic stuff. And it's really powerful when you start to think about the history that was there. So every time we went, it was all about that. It was all about experiencing that history and trying to make these images that kind of lend to that vibe. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people who see it as a playground to skateboard and burn things and knock walls through and, you know, do stupid stuff. Now, Phil, you and I both know we're not perfect.
Well, yeah, but we also don't go somewhere to do mass amounts of drugs and spray paint things. Which
No,
is potentially what Camp 30 was used for by local residents.
Well, there's a high school right next door, so things like that kind of happen.
Yeah, it's just asking for trouble.
It is, but it's on lockdown now. They have security cameras there, and if you go in, you may not know anything, but all of a sudden they are notified, and they come and they, I don't know what they do. Probably something bad.
Which is kind of sad, because there used to be people that like walk their dogs through there, and it was a big, like, you know, for the most part, like empty area. And it, you know, I know most of the times that we went, there was, you know, other people there taking pictures. There's, you know, as I said, people walking their dogs, like mostly friendly things happening. But, you know, the bad eggs ruin it for the good eggs.
It's true. True. I think the grounds will still be okay for people to walk their dogs, but if you try and get in any of the buildings, there's going to be issues. Who knows?
Fair enough.
But, yeah, it's too bad. I don't know of any other really cool places to go and do that kind of shooting anymore. So, and without going to the States or something like that, or like to go to someplace in Europe. Don Komarechka, everybody take a shot. He's been to a lot of really cool places where, you know, you get into these former Soviet military bases. I mean, that would be incredible with the sickle on the roof and the whole thing. Insane. Well, lots of stuff to talk about, though. I mean, even though we don't have tons of photos to go through, which we will go through. And tell you what, why don't we do that right away? Before we do, though, I just want to remind everybody, if you are not already a member of the Daytripper photo community on Google+, check it out, because that's where you find out about the show notes and everything that we're going to do for the show, and that's where you submit your photos for the photo challenges, and that's where you get some inspiration. That's where if you have any questions, you can post it and get answers fairly quickly. I mean, the response time is pretty great, because it's not just us, it's also the 453 other people who are in the community who like to give help and, you know, not just praise. That's the thing about our community. Have you noticed that? A lot of people hit a +1 and, you know, say I like you and this and that, but you actually get some critique. You actually get some opinions and some feedback on your photos, and it's not just about patting you on the back, which I think is pretty cool. No, that's how we try and keep it, at least. And also, if you think the show is cool or if you like it, whatever, click like at the bottom. Right under YouTube, if you're watching this after the fact, there'll be a little like icon at the bottom. Don't hit the dislike, because that's just not nice. People don't like that. But click the like, because people do like that, and that's the thing to do. Be human. Be a nice person. What do you think, guys?
I agree with that.
There's far too many not nice people, don't you think?
There's always more. It always seems, because they're like the squeaky wheel.
That's true. I'm squirreling, though, so I'm going to move on. And don't forget, if you are watching live right now, please use the Q&A. And say something to us. Let us know what you're thinking. If you have any questions or thoughts about the photos that we're going to look at, go ahead and post them in the Q&A. That will roll you right into the show, and we'll have a good discussion about it. Lastly, I would like to thank our sponsors, Sennheiser Lens Pen, Cotton Carrier, and, of course, Sigma Lenses from Gentech. These guys have supported Daytripper Photo for quite some time now, and we really appreciate the support. They give us stuff that we can help out our people on our day trips, and of course they supply prizes for things like our photo challenges, which we're going to get into in just a minute. You guys remember that last photo review show was the quarterly final, and we announced our major winners. So this is starting fresh. Everybody gets starting fresh right now. No points are had. So if you had submitted photos, this is a great opportunity to get those points and win yourself a Daytripper Photo $350 gift certificate toward any future session, and also lots of other cool gifts and prizes from Lens Pen, Sennheiser, and Cotton Carrier, which are right up in that cupboard right over there, waiting to be won. Yeah. Anyway, Ron says, what is the proper steps to take to take post photos for the photo challenge. Thanks. Actually, I'm glad you asked me that, Ron. It's quite straightforward. If you're in the Daytripper photo community, post a photo, and it's going to ask you what wall you'd like to share that to. Choose Weekly Photo Challenge, and we'll see it. And that's it. So as soon as you post that photo, post it to the Weekly Photo Challenge wall within the community, and we will automatically roll that into our conversation. And as soon as you go to the Daytripper community, you'll see it'll ask you to make a comment or something. There's a little button that says photo. Click that, choose the photo from your computer, attach it up, and we'll see it. Tout sweet. That was French. So I tell you.
Okay.
All right. So, photos. Who wants to do a screen share of the photos that we have?
I can do a screen share if you'd like.
Oh, cool. Otherwise,
Get
I
this
was
set
going
up
to
here.
hide all this.
Let's take a look. Screen share.
So we did get some cool shots, actually.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily need to show. Well, we might as well show ours.
Oh, you want to start with that?
Yeah. Why don't we start with ours? Because
Am I still screen sharing?
Emil posted another one.
There we
Oh,
go.
so cute. So again, the photo challenge was pet personalities, and I don't know. It's every pet has such a different personality.
Mm-hmm.
Phil, you have 2 dogs, right?
I do.
And Michael, you have 1 dog. You shared a photo of it.
Yeah, I have one now.
So what's with dog people all of a sudden?
Dog people are awesome.
Okay, fine.
I blame my parents. I'm allergic to dogs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All dogs, even poodles?
No, anything with fur rather than hair.
Got it.
Interesting.
Are you screen
Sorry.
sharing there, Phil?
Yeah, I'm just going to bring up... well, I thought we were going to start with our pictures.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a picture that it's... Honestly, I didn't shoot it on anything special. But, you know, for pet personality, I thought it summed up my pet pretty well. It's, you know, picture of my little dog having a nap after being severely overtired after running around on the beach and attempting to swim in the lake. And by attempting, I mean putting in the lake and frantically paddling towards the shore. So it worked out, I think, pretty well.
Which one's this?
This is Winnie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Super cute.
That's
So nothing too fancy, just I thought it was, it summed her up pretty well, because either she's doing one of 2 things, this or bouncing off of walls. I thought this kind of summed her up for personality-wise.
How old is she now?
She is just over 1.
Oh, so she's just a young thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
I have to say, I love that you're sharing Winnie, and Taylor posted a photo of Ninny.
Oh my, that's so true. Now, one thing I've noticed, there's a bit of a theme, there's a bit of a trend. A lot of us have rescued animals.
Mm.
Michael, yours is a rescue.
Yep.
Dixie's a rescue. Ninny's a rescue. And I don't know about Cyrano, but he was a very happy dog. We'll talk about him in a minute. Okay, so why don't we have a look at the next one?
I will go back to screen sharing. Bear with me for a moment here. There we go. Get this pulled up. I think you can see my screen.
Black right now, and there it is. Beautiful.
Okay, so we'll start with yours.
Sure. It's just a quick shot of Dixie. To me, it's not so much about the photo, it's about the process.
Okay.
This was shot with off-camera flash. We were talking about this actually in the pre-chat.
Yes,
Michael
I was complaining
about the D800 not having a pop-up flash to use the trigger system, which I love. And everybody that knows me knows that I love the creative lighting system in Nikon, and it makes no sense.
Infrared. They do have a pop-up flash.
Yeah, I'm gonna translate for everyone. It was the 5D Mark III, sorry, 5D Mark IV we were complaining about not having a pop-up flash.
Right.
The D800 doesn't have a wireless remote.
Oh, yes, that's what
the
it was.
infrared receiver.
That's
Yes.
right.
So we're talking about silly features that they take out of new advanced cameras.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the more you
shouldn't.
pay for a camera, the less you get.
Well, I mean, the D500 just came out. We're totally swirling now. Totally.
It's okay.
But it's
Actually,
true.
but
This creative lighting system is what I used for this shot here. I took a flash and set it on a ledge and aimed it down at Dixie with the little like the diffuser cap popped onto it.
Mhm.
And I used the pop-up flash to trigger it. And I set my pop-up flash to about quarter power or something like that. And so it wasn't blasting Dixie in the face. And I just got a little bit of kick there. So, yeah, quarter
that's
power.
nice.
What it was.
I like getting the tongue in mid action.
You know, it's the gesture. I've learned that it's all about the gesture. You know what I mean by the gesture? So, for
I'm
example,
nodding, but you can't see me.
that's a good point. We can't. Say you're shooting an air show,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a plane that flies overhead. If you stop it dead sharp in the air, then it's a plane in the air. But if you get it tilting a little bit, and you can see the pilot's face, and you can see the condensation coming off the wing, a little trail of condensation coming off the wing, just that little bit of difference, that's the gesture. So you take a picture of a cat or an animal or something like that, and if it's just sitting there, it could still be cute, but like with your photo of Winnie, the gesture is how the little paw is kind of hanging there, and just the little tired little look on its face, and that's the gesture. So when you're taking a picture of something like this, and especially a cat like Dixie, she's all black except for a little bit of white. Hard to focus, and harder still to get enough shutter speed to stop the action. So using a little flash makes a huge difference, and I use the off-camera flash for that reason. But because of that, you can see her tongue is just like glowing there. Kind of creepy. But she's a good cat. And speaking of rescues, I think one of the things that people have to remember, and we had our guest on before talking about rescuing animals and so on, rescuing dogs. Great things that you can do to rescue dogs, any animal, because there's so many out there, and they just need a good home. Mm-hmm. It's kind of scary when you think about it. I mean, we all get older, and it'd be nice if our pets had the exact same age expectancy as us, died on the same day even, but that never happens. So there's a lot of these animals out there that came from a good home that need a better place to live. Speaking of which, Michael, do you know your dog's history?
I don't know very much of it. I did hear the story that she was a rescue from an abusive owner or owners, that when they went in to find the place, they saw at least 40 dogs.
Oh my God.
And I might be exaggerating, I don't remember the story exactly, but there was a bunch of dogs there. Most of them Jack Russells, so she definitely looks like a boxer, but on paper she's a Jack Russell. Her original name was Diamond.
Diamond?
So we helped her out there and named her Abby.
I don't know, Diamond? I'd probably roll that into Diamond Dallas Page or something like that, wrestling. That's kind of how I
But she's very, very timid. She's especially timid around boys. It was actually my dad's idea to get a new dog. We used to have 2 dogs before. They were both big mutts like she is, but primarily boxers. It was Dad's idea. Dad wanted a new dog. Second, she met my mother, who actually picked her up from the pound. She's Mom's dog now. She's absolutely in love with her. And that's actually what I talked about a bit when I posted this, is we noticed just how much she's in love with my mother, and we were worried that she had a bit of an abandonment issue, because as soon as she leaves, she runs right up to the window or right up onto the couch and sits on the back of the couch looking out the window going, "Where is she? Where is she?" And she's jumping all over her as soon as she gets back in the door. And we brought her for training and everything. She graduated her little puppy class, but still to this day, she's jumping all over the place as soon as Mummy gets home. So I'm calling this one, "Where's Mummy?"
Nice. Yeah, I wish we all knew what our pets were thinking. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we go by their reactions, and that tells a lot right there. You don't know the history of an animal so well when you get them, but it sounds like this guy here came from a puppy mill, which was really, really good that it's now in a really good home that loves it and takes care of it. And it's important. It's important. And, how long have you had Abby now?
Just a few months, actually.
Oh, really? Okay, so you're going to see that change quite a bit.
Yeah.
That will progress.
She's already improved a lot. But there's something really interesting with her, is that most new dogs, they like to chew things and eat things and get into your shoes. She likes to pick things apart. So she got into my shoes, and terrifying thought for me, wearing Doc Martens now. Getting into leather shoes is a terrifying thought, but she didn't eat the shoes. She ate the shoelaces. She actually pulled the shoelaces out and chewed at that. Or she'll pull at strings. She nitpicks instead of actually mangles. Very interesting habit.
See, there's a personality trait. There would be a photo right there. Her just nitpicking at something.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. Well, I love the shot. I love the texture that you've given it. The wash, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
It lends to the mood. The lighting is great because you have a nice outline of Abby there, and still enough light and detail on the couch and the texture of the couch.
I had to have fun with it because she always exaggerates how long Mom has been away and how much she misses her. So I had to exaggerate just how old the photo was in turn.
Oh, right.
I was gonna say I like that overlay. It's a nice kind of got that scratchy, old, negative kind of look to it.
Yeah.
It does say a sense of time and age, which definitely good choice. Very cool. All right, man. Thanks for posting that. All right, Phil, let's have a look at what's next.
I think we're coming up to... So we have 2 pictures here.
Okay, so these are Brandon's.
Mm-hmm.
Generally what we would do is we would talk about one, but I don't know if we need to worry about talking about one today. We don't have too many, so why don't we start off with the first one?
Okay. Now, out of the 2, this is the one that I actually like a little bit more.
Yeah.
I like the
Yeah, me as well.
The shadow kind of on the side of it here. We got just a little bit of light coming through the cat's eye. It's pretty sharp across the the eye here. You can see kind of the layers in the eye itself. I think it's a really cool picture.
Mm-hmm. Michael, what do you think?
I think it's a really fun shot. I think it definitely lends to the personality because this... I love the dramatic lighting, but looking at this pose and the lighting really makes me feel like this cat is hunting. It looks like that snap moment just after noticing a mouse scurrying off on the side there, that she's just looking to the side and caught something. I get that feeling from the shot, so I feel like she's hunting. I think it adds a little more, on top of the dramatic lighting, it adds a little more drama to the story of the shot, so I think that's a lot of fun.
Definitely. Use of shallow depth of field really helped it too.
Mm-hmm.
The back just blurring off and really getting your focus on that leading eye. It's tough to tell if that eye is really sharp, but when I was taking those shots of Dixie earlier today, it's so hard to get those shallow depth of field lenses to get that focus perfect on the eye. So if you're still showing that emotion, if you're still showing that vibe, I don't know how important it is. What do you think of that, Phil?
It's always nice to see that sharpness, but I think in a shot like this, where we're more so going for like an overall feeling from a shot, not breaking it down maybe on such a technical level, I think it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not off so much that it ruins the shot.
Exactly. It's not like the bum's in focus, but the face isn't.
The Twinkle Tush. Have you guys seen that video, Twinkle Tush?
No.
Oh, you have to look it up. You have to. I'm not going to squirrel too badly about it, but if anybody right now watching, just type in Twinkle Tush in Google search, and I guarantee you're going to thank me. You will thank me. Anyway, one thing about this shot, this cat, I should say, Brandon's cat looks an awful lot like my old cat, Mr. Snapperhead. That's what I named my camera after and took my email address from, and pretty much everything that's important to me is based around that cat, Snapperhead. He was a good boy, and he looked a lot like this guy, except he had a smudge on his nose. So that's a feeling I got from it, was kind of reminded me of my boy, who passed away way too soon. But we had Angel for 22 years, so that made up for it, I guess. So, all right, let's have a look at the next shot, unless you guys have anything else to add.
I keep getting emails about new pictures being added, but I don't see them, so I'm just going to refresh quickly.
Okay. I know Glenn added a shot.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see
He's
that
finally
now.
got a connection, he says, and he's watching now.
Maybe for time restraints, we should concentrate on just it being one picture again.
Okay.
So we do have a couple more to go
That
through.
was our favorite anyways, I think.
All right, sounds good.
Now those disappeared, so it's good we went over those.
Yeah. No, that keeps jumping on and off the page for some reason. I don't know what's going on with his post.
That's weird, eh?
That's okay. We'll go to Taylor's next, I believe.
Sounds good.
And I believe this is also a rescue dog, I think.
Yes, this is one we were talking about a few minutes ago. This is Ninny. He was
right,
rehomed for aggression issues. He does somewhat better now than Now, other than hating his older brother, other than that, he's a sweetheart. He is my sister's dog, and he's 11 years old. I love it.
Looks like a cockapoo almost.
Some little spaniel kind of thing, but very, very, very cute. I love it. You can see water all around its ears, around its legs. You can tell he's been playing in the water. Looks back at its master like, hey, you want to come play? You want to come play? Great color. That's an interesting leash hook on that. It's very large for a little dog.
That's good for them to be robust, though.
Would you guys call this an environmental portrait?
I would say so. A little bit more going on than just an up-close shot. But yeah, I like it. I like the rocks look like soaking, but they look kind of like oily. They're like a nice kind of like shiny almost.
Well, they look wet to me.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Michael, what do you think?
I'm painting pictures in my head for personality what all of these would be, and this kind of gives me a bit of a story I'm laughing about now of just the look on the dog's face looks a little bit like mopey but curious at the same time, and I totally get the feeling from this, seeing the ears wet and everything, the rocks wet around him. Like you just threw the ball into the water and it ran into the water looking for it and came back, and now it's coming back looking at its owner going, but where's the ball?
And it almost looks like it's got that like frowny face.
Yeah,
right.
It looks disappointed.
Well, it's a very cute dog, and Taylor,
Absolutely.
thank you so much for submitting. I just love that Taylor uses the same camera as me.
There we go.
Same lens as me too, 1024. Wonder why that is. How could that have happened? Anyway, moving along. Let's have a look at what's next.
So Emil posted 2, and Michael, I think you're on the same page I am.
Yeah.
This one? What do you think, Brian?
The first photo was actually taken in 2015.
Oh, so we can't look at that anyway.
So that one wouldn't necessarily apply.
So we'll look at this one.
And this one was taken within the proper period of time.
Just as a side note, we're just reviewing a little bit about photo challenge. Got to put the photo in the right place on the website, as well as does have to be shot within that 3-week window.
That's right. It has to be a current photo. The concept of a photo challenge is to get you making photos. So to submit old photos doesn't necessarily kind of follow through with that. So yeah, we asked for new photos.
Yeah, just a side note. But I like the shot. It doesn't even bother me that there's a basket and a stool in the background. I just like it being up close. It filling the frame. Almost seems like it's like I imagine like with the tile floor, it's probably a little cooler. With the heat we've had the last couple days, lying on the floor, trying to keep cool, spreading out. I think I like it.
Well, I'm just reading the comment that Emil put on the previous one. I think they're the same dog, wouldn't you think?
I think so.
So he says, this is my grandparents' dog named Cyrano. He recently passed, but he was a very happy dog. I love this photo because you can see his point of view from the reflection in his eyes, which was the previous photo. But it's sad, when I think of my dog Muffin, who passed away when I was 17, I think of that little nose, that cute little poodle nose that she had. You know what I mean? You see a photo like this, and you see the nose that's in focus, and yeah, everybody says you want the eyes in focus, but I see a shot like this, and it reminds me of my pet. Does that make sense to you guys? Because that's
I'm nodding, but again, you can't see me.
No, yes, it doesn't help to nod, Phil. But thanks. I just love it, and I think the basket and the step in the back actually helps. It shows place. It shows where the dog is just kind of chilling in the laundry room, waiting for its owner, right? What do you think, Michael?
Yeah, I like it. I agree about it setting environment to have those in the background. I just think it's a really cute shot. I love the composition. It's very emotional for a personality shot. It really shows exactly what it's there for, the emotion, the story. She says tired with her post here for this image. It's cute. Yes. I love this shot. I'm not sure how I feel about the nose being in focus instead of the eyes. I'm wondering if that would change the feeling of the shot to have the eyes in focus.
It definitely would, and that's a good point to make. I mean, to me, I'm going to look at this shot here and think, thank you for submitting. I'm just happy that Emil was able to share the post. And then you still get the feel for the thing, but if the not for the thing for the dog, but if the eyes were in focus, that would absolutely have a different touch. That would bring you into the dog's mind a little bit more. So it's a valid point to make for sure.
But on the same side of that, you drew a familiarity to this picture because the nose reminded you of something. So in some ways, it'll work. In some ways, it won't. And it really comes down to what you're trying to convey with the shots.
I agree. All right. Well, thanks, Emil, for sharing this one. And we have Glenn's. Now, I've known Glenn for a while. Glenn's been a customer of mine for years at Henry's. And this is his second dog. This is Ben. His first dog was Bob.
Feels like a Ben.
Yeah, Ben and Bob. Those were his two dogs. And Bob was another black lab. He was Glenn's best friend. When Glenn gets his dog, that's his best friend. And you can see that with every photo he makes of Ben now. He loves this dog. Glenn has old cars, classic old 1920s, 30s cars. And there's old Ben sitting there in the passenger seat, or even sometimes in the driver's seat, just taking charge. So the shot is awesome because, I mean, as he says in the name, black against black, it's so hard to shoot a black dog in dark. And I know Glenn's career right now is actually pet photography, so I think it's an awesome shot. You can see all the detail in the eyes, focuses where it needs to be. If you zoom right in, you can see that. Proper use of depth of field gets you that nice nose to eye in focus. Using lighting, I would imagine, knowing Glenn, it's studio lighting. You can see the detail in the body of the dog still, so it's standing out from a black background.
I think for a shot like this, that would really be your best bet.
What's that?
To use studio lighting.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
And Glenn's watching right now, so I'm sure he can confirm that if you'd like. Go ahead, Michael.
And
sorry, Phil.
I was going to say, I like the bow tie. I'm assuming it's a bow tie and a collar.
Yeah.
I think that's cute.
I'm being super nitpicky looking at this photo, and I'm actually just very curious to ask Glenn, was this a black background? Because I see a dark background, but I can see your Photoshop brush here. So I can see that you're actually making it darker, and I'm just wondering what the original that you started with was.
Maybe like a neutral gray and
New and back flood.
Oh, so you're thinking he did this like I do my wrestling shots, where you black out the background?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, because I can see a little bit of the edge over the head of where this was brushed.
Right.
So I can see that some of the... Yeah, so you got black paper there and just darkened the tones a little bit more in Photoshop, I think.
Snoop and black.
I love this shot. I love the lighting. I especially love having that hard light in the front. Really, really beautifully brings out the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I actually miss in my portraits. I'm personally don't like using hard light on faces as much. I like to use softer light, but you really miss that in the eyes, having that really strong texture there. Mm-hmm. And it shines so nicely on the fur.
Yeah, absolutely. And it works for animals like this because you want to bring out that detail. You might not want to bring out every imperfection on someone's face.
Yeah. I think the only thing...
hairs.
Yes, and I see Glenn saying that it definitely was brushed. The only thing that I would say for this is the fact that it's brushed into the black, you're actually losing some of the depth against the black fur. I would say either letting yourself have a little bit of a lighter background, still letting the background be black, but not brushing it that much darker, or adding a kicker light, have another flash going on behind, just to bring that edge back and be able to separate the dog from the background. Would, again, just be that extra little 10%, because in some of the areas here, you are actually losing the fur into the black tones of the background.
Now,
around the shoulder on the left, you can see that.
it's interesting you say that, because when I was shooting the shots of Dixie earlier, one of the things I did was put the flash behind her. Because she is so dark, I wanted a little bit of light behind. So that's an interesting technique to use as well, for sure. Glad you pointed that out. Anything else to add on this, guys?
I think that's it for me.
Yeah, I like it. I don't mind the black background. I think it's good. But yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, I don't mind it being brushed in a little bit. Because the detail in the face, I think, just for me, it draws me away from kind of everything else.
Oh yeah, completely draws you in.
Absolutely. And the nice thing about photography, or what I try and think of as photography, is not to eliminate light, but yet to put light where you want it. So having that light around the face and the textures that you're creating and the depth, just in the face, by having that, like you say, with the front light, it definitely gives you that pop and draws your eye right to the face. Glenn says, I didn't get the rim lighting I wanted. His dog didn't stay still. Well, you know, that definitely
I can sympathize with that.
As soon as you get set up for a shot, they move, or they look at you, or they walk at you. That was the challenge, right?
Yeah, and I mean, all things considered, this is a phenomenal shot. Phenomenal lighting, everything is beautiful.
Well, we've got to pick a winner from these guys, and we haven't done that because a few of the shots were added as we were doing the show. But to talk about that rim light for just a second, I'm going to do a screen share myself. This is another one of the shots that I made today. And you can see how, with that flash behind, it gives you the little catch light lighting up the hairs on the paw. And you can see under the neck, it gives you that separation. So sometimes just that little bit of light makes a huge, huge, huge difference. Mind you, with this one, you get such detail when you use flash that you can see the... I know, right? We got to I don't know, do something about her teeth there. But isn't that great? Look at that disgusting tongue. Anyway, so yeah, let's keep on talking about these photos that we're going to pick our winner of the day. All right, so we've got a few good shots that came in. You know what, Phil? I'm with you on that. So,
okay.
We were going to, do you want to just say what you were just saying?
Well, we got to still come up with the other one.
The third place?
Yeah, that works for me. And then the, I guess, honorable mention.
All right, done.
You guys?
Yeah, we're good. We've picked our winner. Okay. So, for first place this week, hang on a second.
Oh, we've gone down a little too far. Look, we got some fireworks.
1, 2, 2.
You disappeared for a second.
Who did? I did?
You did.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm trying to figure out what you mean by first place there.
The thing above it.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so first place this week. Oh, wait a minute, we need sound effects.
Yes. Unless someone has a drum kit.
Well, I used to, but I sold it when I got married. That's another story for another day. All right, the winner this week for third place, goes to Emile. There you go. The photo, nice low perspective. I mean, you can almost see the steam on the ground from this one. Lovely shot. Excellent job, Emile. You pick up yourself 2 points right now for third place. For second place this week, we're giving it to Taylor for her picture of the cutest little dog I've seen since Charlie. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to take away from Winnie, of course. Dogs are too cute. There's so many cute dogs. Okay, so excellent job. We love the rocks. We love the depth. We love the coloring of the dog and the expression that we're getting. And it's like Michael was saying, it looks like the dog flew, or the ball went down the river, and the poor dog was like, what? Give me another one. Awesome shot. Okay, now we're going to get to our first place winner of this week's photo challenge, and that one goes to Glenn for his awesome shot of Ben. Love it. We love the detail. We love the texture. And thank you guys so much for submitting.
Let's stop screen sharing now.
Those sound effects are fun. Even for me. He says he's having connection problems. It must be the mountains that we're in. I wish I had your problems right now, Glenn. So, yeah, I think you wrote Gord or something. Bill. I was like, what? Gord? Who's Gord? Anyway, that's awesome. So we do have a few other things to talk about. Since we have a few more minutes before the show is over, we've made a few extra things to talk about. First, I want to talk about this studio space thing, Michael. How did you even find this?
Oh, I was just on Pay to Pixel earlier, and it was one of the articles that I found here, but it's actually really interesting. I can do a quick screen share here as well to show you, because these pictures are fantastic looking at this place. So let's get that out of the way. So,
good move.
VSCO, who, if I recall correctly, is a company that makes a bunch of filters for camera phone pictures, I guess.
Okay.
Well known for their filters, but they have just announced the launch of its new Open Studio in New York City, completely free to use, massive studio space. And looking at this is gorgeous. It's huge. It's got the black and white furniture everywhere. I'm a huge fan of this look. Like, this is my dream house right here. And looking at this picture, they're using Profoto lights. Looks like they got the B1s or the D1s or something in there. Like, this is just a dream studio, and they're giving it out for free.
So, as interesting as that sounds, as somebody who runs a studio, if you gave studio space away for free, people are going to take you up on it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be running behind seriously on having space available for everybody. I wonder what the waiting list would be for that.
Oh,
probably pretty long.
I don't think they even say here, but I can imagine. Brutal.
Well, it's an interesting idea.
They're going to get all of their profit off of people flaking out on the schedule or fighting over timing, because if you cancel your booking, it says within 72 hours, you'll forfeit a deposit. So it's completely free to use, but you'll have to do a $250 deposit by the looks of it.
That's an interesting business strategy.
For such a huge studio, that's a max capacity of 6 people.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot more than 6 chairs right there.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's more than 6 people on set or 6 photographers doing their own thing.
Could be 6 photographers doing their own thing. It looks like a big studio.
Yeah. And by the looks of this room, it looks like this cove here is just one side of it, and there's another room behind it with another cove, maybe. I can't tell what I'm looking at here. It looks like there's way more space than this.
I also want to say it's a really interesting time that we are in, that you're able to have a company that makes filters for phones, yet still have studio space. Like, it seems kind of odd that that's how everything's kind of come together.
Well, anybody can have studio space. I'll tell you what interests me is the story on the side there. Squirrel steals GoPro, shoots video game-worthy POV runs through a tree. I'd like to see that, actually.
Like that,
Let's do it.
that movie they have out that's shot entirely in first person.
This could be a long, choppy ride ahead of us, folks.
All right, we'll skip ahead. There we go. Okay.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. It's always animals stealing GoPros. Like, it's almost like they know what it is.
I don't think it's only animals that steal GoPros.
Well, they post videos afterwards.
Yes. All right, so that was fun. Okay, so something else that's happening coming up soon is the meteor shower for tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Are you okay? So we talked about this before. I know, Phil, you're gonna try and get outside to the lake and do something. Michael, are you gonna try and shoot some meteors coming up tomorrow night?
I might. Actually, my girlfriend's coming over tomorrow night and finally bringing my tripod back, so I don't know where we're going to go to do that, though.
Well, hey, there's a few of us in this area that we were talking about going somewhere to shoot something. I'm looking for ideas. I don't really know where the perfect spot in Newmarket would be to go to do this. It's not too far. You don't want to drive an hour because really you want to wait until the moon goes down, and that would be about 12 a.m., 1 a.m. ish on Thursday evening, Monday or Friday morning. So you don't really want to drive too far. You got to come home, right?
Now, if you can't drive, if you can't get too far, you can always go to the keg. You can always take some pictures of some meat eaters.
Did you just say that? Wow. We literally just lost our last viewer.
And we're off the air in Japan.
Oh, meat eaters! Wow,
But ideally, you want to go anywhere that is going to be outside of a main city. And we talked a little bit about it last time. But getting outside of a city gets you out of that light pollution, that kind of cloud of light that overhangs most big city centers. So if you can get outside a little bit, grab a coffee, drive 10, 15 minutes into the country, a little bit further if you can go, you're going to get much better shots. It's the whole reason why that when you're in a city, you see 5 stars, but you go up north and you see thousands. All the stars are always there. It's just they're blocked out by a lot of this excess light. So as long as you get outside of a city center, you should be okay.
It's funny. Some people will go up to their cottage and do this kind of thing, and they always wonder, like, what is that orange glow that you see in the bottom of the shot? It's exactly what Phil's talking about. If you have a city nearby, it doesn't even have to be a major city, and you're going to have this orange glow coming from anything with lights.
Yeah, any constant light source. Street lights, a couple houses, your house.
Your mother's house.
Yeah, anything nearby.
Anything. Even a 7-Eleven.
Yep.
Liquor store.
Timmy's.
Tim Hortons, yeah.
They were just naming things.
The best thing to do is to live in the Yukon. Then you don't have to worry about it. That's my story. And
as long as you're outside of the major city.
One thing I'm really looking forward to is September 24th and 25th, the Daytripper Photo overnight island session. It's a private island, and we're going to be overnight in a cottage in the middle of nowhere, pretty much, in North Bay. And apparently this time of year, if it is a clear night, which obviously I can't control fully, this time of year you can see Aurora Borealis. So we're really hoping to see some auroras going on and be able to cover how to shoot all that kind of stuff. So that's a really important trip that I'm looking forward to. That's going to be a lot of fun. What else is going on? Oh, August 14th, this Sunday. There's still a few spaces open if you guys are interested in the Joseph LeDuc liquid art session that we're running. We ran it before. It was fantastic. We've changed a few of the things that we're shooting. We're adding something like a water balloon bursting with darts and stuff like that. So we're going to get some really cool liquid art photos. I love these sessions. I mean, the first one that we did, I came out, I think I took 12 photos, and 7 of them were like pictures that I'm using for promotion. It's an environment where you can make the photo you'll love. It's pretty much a guarantee. And learn how to do it, and then be able to take it home and do it at home. So, awesome.
That's the nice part about this, is you don't need a fancy setup. You need your kitchen table, or if you're going to be bursting water balloons, an outside, and just a little bit of creativity, and you can come up with some really, really cool stuff. And seeing what people are posting in the community after the last liquid art session, those are fantastic. And adding in bursting water balloons and that kind of fun stuff, that would just take it, I think, to the next level.
Yeah, Joe's got a couple tricks up his sleeve that he hasn't told me yet, so I'm sure there'll be something else that's unique. But I mean, there's oil on or water on glass. There's oil refraction on all kinds of really cool things with oil and different colors and backgrounds, and it's a lot of fun. So that's actually coming up on Sunday. Only 3 spots left for that, so if anybody's interested, check it out. And August 28th, I actually am just sending out the big email blast for this one tonight. I just got the reply from Navi about it, and there's more news about Navi in just a second. But we're having a food photography masterclass with the amazing Navi Noob. Now, for those of you who don't know who Navi is, go to yumbai.ca. That's YUMMBAI.ca. Don't go to the website. It's on Instagram. So if you go to Instagram, that's her account. Did I say it right, guys?
I think so. Your guess is as good as mine.
Yes, YUMMBAI.ca. So that's at YUMMBAI.ca. That's her Instagram account with all of her food photography. Apparently that means rice or eat. So it makes sense that she's using that for food photography. And her stuff is just incredible. So on August 28th, we have this masterclass with Navi. Now, a masterclass is something where, same thing with Joseph's, it's a masterclass. A week or so after the session, we meet back at the studio and we review your photos, and then we edit and we show you how you can tweak them and adjust them and really open your eyes to all of the potential there is for making the best photo you can possibly make. So there's a full class, lunch included on this one, and pizza. It's always good. And this is a full class, hands-on, 5 different stations. Only 8 people are allowed to come to this session. We keep it nice and small so everybody gets a lot of shooting time. We have triggers for everybody. We have lighting. We have everything you need. Just bring your camera. And this session is only $200 from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. It's a great, great session. So check that out.
That's a pretty good deal for Navi, too.
Yeah, yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait for that session. And also, last but not least, free, August 20th, there is a drone safety session at the Loft. It's with Ross Chevalier, the photo video guy. He does all the drone classes for Henry's, actually. So he does the flight school and the ground school for Henry's. And he knows pretty much everything there is to know about the safety side of using a drone. This was inspired by an event that happened on Canada Day with a drone flying up and down Main Street over people's heads and out of line of sight and so on. I figured, you know, people don't know what you're allowed and what you're not allowed to do with these things. So why don't we have this free session? Ross said yes. That sounds like a great idea. Anybody's welcome to come, but you do have to register. So if you're interested in learning more about the legalities behind flying your drone, check it out, theloftstudio.ca. You can register under the events page within the loftstudio.ca's website, and it'll not let you register once we have the maximum number of people. So please check it out. It's completely free. We're not asking for anything except your email and then whatever. We just want to, you know, send you stuff. Tell you about our awesomeness. That's really what it comes down to, right? Do you guys want to talk about the pop-up flashes?
We already kind of brought that up.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah,
Okay.
complaining that Canon takes things off and he spend more money. And Nikon kind of does the same thing. But
Yeah. One thing we did not do yet, though, was we didn't talk about the next photo challenge.
no, which I think will be good.
I think it'll be good. I think so. And it kind of relates back to the food photography class with Navi.
Absolutely.
In fact,
I'm stalling to come up with puns. It's not working.
you're so
I'm a bit of a pickle.
that wasn't a pun. Anyway, Navi Noom is going to be the guest on next week's show. It's a tips and techniques show, and we're going to be giving you some tips and techniques on shooting food photography, and we're also going to talk about the food photography class that Navi will be teaching. So if anybody's interested in food photography, check out next week's show. It's going to be a lot of fun, and that leads me to the current photo challenge, which is, guess what it is, guys?
Cats.
No, you're wrong. Michael.
Food?
Ah, jeez, you got it. Nice job.
Both answers could work.
Yeah, so food is the current photo challenge. I will make a post about that as soon as I can. Just remember, guys, it can be your interpretation. We want to see what you think of when we say food, and take a picture of it.
I just came up with an idea. I'm
You
going to
did?
shoot something for this one.
Nice.
We're going to see if it works.
Excellent. So hopefully, if people don't shoot that food photo for the first week, you'll get some inspiration on the coming show, and then you'll be able to practice what we're talking about
There we
and
go.
submit your photos. Now, I'm curious about something, guys. I wrote this in here, and I'm kind of curious. What do you think your dream shoot would be? If you could do anything, if you could just say, no budget, do anything you want to do, what would be your dream shoot? Michael, I'm going to start with you on this one.
It's actually a concept that I'm trying to work out, and having a budget makes it very difficult. I want an all-out war. Like, I don't know how much you know about like Dungeons and Dragons or concepts like that, but I want war mages. I want to see like a frost mage and a fire mage throwing spells at each other, like bringing down thunderstorms and throwing tornadoes. I want crazy CGI, like movie poster. I want to try a shoot like that. Just
That's
so much
cool.
special effects, crazy, like the water magic that I did. I want water magic, fire magic, just throw everything into it and make a series.
Now, if it's CGI, what kind of expense are we talking about?
Honestly, I'm hoping a lot of it can be Photoshop CGI rather than 3D sculpting and have to get someone else into it, or maybe I can get some friends into it that can help there. But really, the challenge for me is costume and props, having the look that I can't. I can do a lot of things in Photoshop, but I can't paint on your costume quite
Well,
yet.
we can work on something. That's something I could probably potentially help you with.
Yeah.
I've got some space and I know some people, so let's chat. You never know. You never know. And I even know a guy who looks like a wizard with long dark hair and has been known to play an angel in photos in the past. I think his name.
Yeah.
You might know the guy. His name Blake. You know Blake. I think he'd be cool for one of them for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll talk about that. That's a great idea. And I do know, Phil and I both know Dungeons and Dragons, so definitely, that's very cool. Phil, what do you think? What would be your dream shoot?
I honestly don't know. I've been trying to come up with ideas since I read that and since you told me, and I don't really know. It changes. Like, I'll come up with an idea and I want to do the idea, and then after I do that idea, it comes to something else. Like right now, the thing we're actually going to do next week is actually currently on the top of my list of stuff I want to do. And I just, I don't know, I got to, you know, if I was to come up with something that...
There's so much that you can do, right? There's so much, and yet what interests you? What really catches your fancy? That's the key. You seem uninspired right now, Phil.
Well, I just got to come up with something. I don't know.
Well, maybe next week you can tell us.
There we go. I'll see if I can come up with something for next week.
We're going to call you Phil next week, Zoratto.
Everything is always next week. It's like cold fusion. It's 10 years away, 30 years ago.
That's awesome. Well, I can tell you mine. I want to shoot for WWE. I definitely want to do that. I think that would be the coolest thing ever. But the portraiture, I'd love to do the in-ring, the wrestling, the actual action as well. That would be sweet. You guys know in WWE the shooters have strobes and all that mounted in the riggings, and the lighting is just perfect. That would be awesome. But my main shoot idea would be in-ring portraits and in-ring finishing moves, like I did for Barry Wrestling, which was awesome. I had such a good time doing it. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. I'll see if I can do a screen share. These were...
Just take it up a notch, basically.
Yeah, totally take it up a notch, because these were shot with Creative Lighting System Nikon off-camera flashes. Cool. I did 5 separate flashes. In this shot, this is actually done after I tore most of the flashes down already, and then Carter Mason, the guy doing the kneeing to the face, he was like, dude, we didn't do my finishing move. And I'm like, yes, we have to. So I only had 3 of the flashes firing. The other 2, blue gel in the back and a red gel in the ring, didn't fire. But I think it kind of worked in this shot. The lights where I needed it, all firing from off-camera flash, from the pop-up flash, no triggers, no extra cost rather than just the flashes and a voice-activated light stand in the background. But it was a fun thing to do, and I think I'd love to do this, but use studio strobes and have proper lighting and triggers so it fired every time and it just worked seamlessly. And then there's the next one where the back flashes were firing, and this is the finishing move idea. So, same as the other one. This is blue flash in the back, red flash on the ring, gives it dimension, and then the 2 flashes firing from the front and 1 flash from behind. Now, I would probably eliminate the back flash at this point if I were to redo this. I could Photoshop, you can see Michelle holding a monopod with a flash in the back there. I could Photoshop that out. I didn't want to. I kind of like seeing that there was a helper in there was extra stuff going on. I wouldn't do it again. I think next time, Michelle's awesome. I mean, we all know Michelle's awesome. She's in the community, and she submits a lot of shots, and she's very actively shooting things like women's volleyball and other things. Lady Vols, got to give them a little plug. So she's great, but nothing to do with her. The light wasn't necessary, and really didn't need that light back there. Michael, what do you think of these? Because I mean, I know you're really good with lighting, and this is portraiture is all that. It's hard to do. It's not my thing.
I have to say I completely love the tonality in this one. Seeing the muscles on his back, it's highlighted perfectly for him.
Cool.
I agree with you on the light, not really taking away from the image, but also not really being needed either.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that gets me with this is their faces. I wish I could see one of their faces clearer.
That makes sense. And in hindsight, I would ask these guys to, like, I would be on the other side of them, so I could at least see one of their faces, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is a tough move to get both their faces. I can tell you that much.
Oh yeah.
There was a whole
the guy
series.
upside down.
I was getting guys doing spears on other guys. I was getting like all kinds of really shoulder blocks and some great action shots, but I just pulled a few up for this. But that's the thing I would love to do. WWE, actual, I don't want to say actual wrestlers. These guys are the coolest people I've ever met. They're amazing people, great wrestlers. But people like, I don't know, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose and all the new guys that are up and yes, I'm a wrestling geek. I love this stuff. So it'd be fun.
Yeah, I take mine back. I'm gonna one up my dream shoot and say that's my personal project. If I really got my way, X-Men. I love the idea of superpowers and surrealism, which is why I wanted the magic stuff. If I could do an X-Men shoot, that would be it for me.
Okay, so X-Men, all of them, or are we talking about one individual?
Again, I'd want to do a whole series, get some of them together, do some like cinematic shots, get individual portraits. Just, I want to be that guy. I want to be the X-Men guy.
Very cool.
If that could be what I do, is shoot those and make those superpowers come to life.
Have you seen Navi's superhero shoot photos?
I don't believe I have.
Let me see if I can find you something that Navi's done. She has a contact where she does superhero costumes for somebody.
Oh, this was I don't know if we can talk about it.
What's that?
What she actually shooting them for?
Well, I mean, there's one on her website here, so I'll show you Captain Canada. So here is her shoot with Captain Canada.
Underrated comic.
Ooh.
Yeah, Navi's pretty good. Pretty good. I've got nothing but mad respect for Navi. I'll tell you.
I love
Chris Hadfield.
What'd you say?
I said it kind of looks like Chris Hadfield.
It kind of does. The facial hair, right? It's funny. And then she does all these other cool suits. But no, that would be great. X-Men?
Yeah. Wicked lighting. I love her lighting for this.
I love her lighting for everything. She's a ninja. She's a light ninja. All right, guys, we are just about done. We're out of time. We're ready to say goodnight. But before we do so, who would like to read this week's quote? I believe this is a quote Michael should read.
Okay.
Okay, let me find it here.
Or did you put this here, Phil?
No.
Oh, okay.
I assumed it was me. Yeah, I assumed it was you.
I assumed it was, too, considering the person who said it.
We know I'm a fanboy.
Yes.
This is a quote by Eric Johansson, and it's more about capturing an idea than about capturing a moment.
Which is really different than a lot of people think. I mean, photography for a lot of people is capturing that moment in a split second, where Eric Johansson, who's a composite photographer and a digital artist, thinks of an idea and then takes months and months to prepare and then assembles each thought for each idea separately and compiles them into a single image. Mm-hmm. This is a lot like what you do. I think that's a brilliant quote, especially coming from you, because this is what you like to do.
Yeah, it's a trait that I share with Eric in that I don't take photo. A lot of the projects I do and that I like to do is I don't take photos, I take puzzle pieces. And I just shoot until I have enough pieces to assemble the picture.
Which takes extreme forethought.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got to really dig in, and it's almost like writing a movie. You've got to almost create a storyboard for what you want each piece to be. Is that how you approach your composite work?
It's how I should. I tend to approach it with more of a vague idea and improvise a lot of the pieces together, like I did with the Water Magic one. I popped the balloons, which worked absolutely nothing like how I planned it, but still managed to sculpt it into something interesting. I really need to work on my storyboarding. I'm sure it would help with pretty much everything I shoot if I actually did that, but it's a terrible habit I need to break.
Well, you're still young.
Yeah.
How old are you anyway?
22.
22. Phil, we're dealing with a little guy here.
We are.
That's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay. Brings a fresh perspective.
I'll grow my beard back out.
Those youngins.
My beard's really long right now, but you can't tell because it's pure white.
It's like see-through.
Yeah, I feel like going back to wrestling again. I feel like Big Daddy Cool with his white beard. Or even talking about when we first started the show, our co-host Darren. I'm become Darren. It's okay. I could do worse. All right, guys. I think we're about done. Before we say goodnight, though, what is a Zeigarnik effect? What is that?
Oh, yes. This is my proposed photo challenge for the future. The Zeigarnik effect is sort of a psychological effect in a photo where you see when you're looking at the photo, you're not seeing the photo, you're seeing what should be a moment after the photo. And sort of the best example for that is playing baseball and you get a photo of someone swinging the bat just next to where the ball is. So you know that what comes next is hitting the ball. So even though it's just a photo of him holding the bat and the ball's over here, you're seeing in your mind what comes afterwards. So it's this sort of psychological effect of the photo. It's a psychic effect of the photo. You're seeing into the future. You know what comes next.
Pretty much every time I shoot wrestling, I have
really
those kinds of things. Yeah.
So it's all about suspense in a photo and being able to see the next step. So there's so many directions you can take it. There's so many fun things you can do with it. So I think that would be a really nice photo challenge for the community.
That would. Oh, here we go. There's an example that Phil has. Ooh, ouch.
That I don't know.
Exactly.
I'm not sure about that.
Is this your photo, Phil?
No, this is one I quickly Googled when I learned how to spell Zeigarnik. By Google auto-correcting what was nothing close to it. But there's some really interesting, there's also some inappropriate ones, so I'm not going to go back. But there are some really interesting pictures for this. And this one kind of bothers me because why are you wearing one sock?
You know, that's a good point.
But
okay, you know what? Sorry, Phil, go ahead.
I like this idea. Like, I think after the food setup, I think we should do this because it gives people a little bit of time to kind of research, get the idea of things.
I tell you what, I'm going to take it one step further. Instead of after, let's say as well as. Why don't we do
we
that?
should do separate.
I think it's good enough. The food photography. I mean, there's 3 weeks to do this, right?
Okay.
Food
You can
photography.
combine the two together.
They're going to watch next week. They're going to get some inspiration about food photography. And let's make this an advanced challenge. In fact, I'm going to double the points on this challenge.
Awesome.
So whoever wants to submit photos for this challenge will get double points, and the photos for the standard food challenge will get regular points, and that'll make it a little bit more of an incentive to do this. Because I think it's a great idea. It's a really neat concept.
Bonus points if you can do both in the same picture.
Whoa.
I want to see someone create a Zeigarnik with food. And I have ideas for that, and I don't want to say it out loud.
I got a couple too.
I don't want to give it away now, so let's see what you guys come up with, because I think it would be awesome if you could do a Zeigarnik with food.
Love it, love it. Show ever evolves. Thank you, Michael. That's really cool. Okay, I think we're good for tonight. Anything else to add? Anything else you guys want to talk about? Things you're about to do? Things you want to talk about?
I just think it's really funny. I just got a message now from one of our viewers on the X-Men topic saying, you better do Phoenix.
Oh, jeez.
I'm planning on it.
Nice. Well, hey, man, if you need a space to shoot, let me know. I know somebody who has a studio.
There we go.
All right. That's it? We're good?
I think so.
Good.
That's it. We're good. Okay. Thank you, everybody who has stayed with us and who's watched us for tonight's show. Or if you're watching after the fact, don't forget to click like, subscribe, and share this with your friends. We love doing the show. We may be a little long-winded sometimes, but when we have more photos for our photo challenge, we're more concise. I was kind of all over the place because we just had a few photos, so I felt I had to talk and ramble. Sorry. Anyway, thanks, guys. We'll see y'all next week. Have a good week. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.